collaborating with Tour Magazine and Seattle Out and About. We're a publication dedicated to international queer and gender-related issues. Today I'm sitting down with multimedia artist Christine Beaderstadt, and we're sitting down to talk about some of her work with Indian women.
So I'm a multimedia artist and I focus on Indian women adornment.
Okay.
My current project is called Time and Place, and I document how Indian women dress and how their dress is changing because of globalization.
So it sounds like you've done some extensive work here and in India as well. Can you tell me how you started on this project and where, tell me a little bit about how you got interested in Indian women's adornment.
Sure. I lived in India in 2005 and I did some photographic work there, and I had traveled around the subcontinent, going into the very northern part and then traveling all the way down to the southern part. And so when I was in the northern part and in the southern part and had traveled around, I noticed that you can tell how a woman, the background of a woman based on what she was wearing, so on her outer appearance.
While you were doing work here, do you feel like the women who are coming over from India have been facing any challenges in the way they present themselves and the way they demonstrate their identity through adornment?
Well, most of the women that I've interviewed thus far have come from similar socioeconomic backgrounds from India. One woman was a lawyer in India, and she could only wear black and white when practicing law in a courtroom. So she told me she wore a lot of black saris. And then when she came here, she could no longer practice law, and so she adopted Western dress. Mm-hmm. Another woman relocated here just a few months ago, and she married an Indian man and moved here, and she had grown up wearing jeans and a t-shirt. She's dressed in her traditional garb that her family, for generations have worn. It takes her 2 hours to put on, as long as it would take, you or me. And so this, is very interesting because she is Indian, but she's wearing Western clothes, and that's what she feels comfortable in, and that's her identity. And she said that her cousins who did not go to boarding school, who did not grow up wearing Western dress, according to her, feel more shy and inhibited because they weren't given a chance, she said. My question is, why can't you wear the dress of your country and be thought of as being modern?
In starting this project, I know that you did some photography work and that you actually had some of the time and place photos featured in local galleries. Can you talk about maybe how that kind of evolved into what you're wanting to do now? So this initially started as a photographic project because it's very visual. What do Indian women look like, and how do they dress, and what do women in the North look like as opposed to women in the South? And then the more that I did research and the more that I talked to women, I realized that a deeper and a better story can be told by accessing their visual and audio stories and hearing what they have to say. Would you say that your research along these lines has influenced the way you approach adornment yourself, or has it made you think a little bit more about your presentation?
Absolutely. I think that it's allowed me to think that when people look at other people, we automatically make assumptions. And so when people look at me, what message am I telling people about myself? And so, when I get dressed in the morning, or I put on earrings, or I think about these things, and sometimes it's subconscious and sometimes it's not.
Well, where can we find out more about your projects online?
You can go to my website, christinebeaderstadt.com/time and place.
Perfect. Well, that's our interview with Christine Beaderstadt. If you have any interest in Tour Magazine, take a look at our links below. We've got our blog link there, as well as the link to our print issues as well. Thank you very much. Bye.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome.